share your corn with me? Can I have it? No. Let me have it. You won't share? Oh, really?
Hi everybody, welcome back to Soul Mechanics Reality Checks course for the week. We're going to be watching a video.
Yeah, we're going to be watching a specific video. I'm going to go ahead and introduce everything.
It is Sydney Watson.
Yeah, the Greta Thunberg. Well, actually, anybody who's, well, maybe some people haven't. Anybody who's on the Remnants page, I actually posted this video a little while back so that you guys can get a heads up, and that's what I'm going to do
I've
from here
never
on.
seen it or heard of her.
Yeah, I didn't watch it really.
She's cute though.
Casey watched it. She is a cutie. I've watched a lot of her shit, but not this video. Oh, I watched a little bit of it, but not the whole thing.
What does she talk about?
She usually talks about
generally
feminism, and she is an anti-feminist, at least an anti, well, it's difficult to tell. She's an anti-feminist, essentially.
That could mean that she's like an actual feminist, though.
But she is kind of, right, she is seemingly, like, at the very least, anti, like, feminist extremism, or extreme feminism.
Anti-extremism, everything, actually, because that's cool.
Yeah, but she's labels herself an anti-feminist, and she's got a lot of good shit to say. She's very good in her respective area. However, she did make a mistake here, stumble off the beaten path, and get into what is now effectively our territory, which we've hijacked. Sorry, anybody who wants to jump on the Greta Thunberg thing, she belongs to us now.
Alright, this was published on September 29th, so fairly recently, and wow. She's got 18,000 likes for this video?
Yep.
No shit.
Well, I should like to note a few things before we begin.
Wow.
One, for obvious reasons, the video has an inherent it's going to have two dedications. One, I don't know if you can see, but for another director in the group, Madam Ravens, I actually tried to let my beard grow a little so I could show you the gray hairs, but you can't really see it. It's a bit of a gray beard, but
it is not, but it has been bothering him all night. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I hate facial hair. I hate all hair on my body. I tend to shave it all off.
He's walking around all scratchy.
As often as I can without hurting myself. I shave all my body hair off, and yes, that's the testes and the penis as well. All the genitalia, the legs, all of it.
Get lasered, dude.
Yeah, I want to get it all removed.
What if
but
it didn't cost
anyway,
like $900?
the video is dedicated to Madam Ravens in that regard. The intro is dedicated to Spoony from the Remnants group, who posted this particular thing to the Remnants group, which leads me to beginning. I would like to open up our bit of the video here by addressing what is obviously the most important factor of it all. Did you hear that porcupine say my corn?
I don't know what that is.
Which it didn't happen yet. One moment. We are back. Now, did you hear the fucking porcupine say my corn?
I think it might be a hoax. I don't know, though.
She thinks it's not real. The porcupine doesn't make
sounds
noises.
like
After looking up several videos of different porcupines making noises.
They sound like...
No.
But the guy with the corn sounds like the sped up, like, chipmunk voice.
It said my corn.
It said, I think it sounded more like right before it does the my corn, the two-syllable thing, when it was just going, it kind of sounded like he was saying mine. Like
yeah,
every
he was
time
saying
she
mine.
would pull it away, he's like,
he said when she first tried to grab it, it sounded like he said no. And then he said mine, and then my corn.
I don't know.
Totally.
I remember once years ago when we first got Firo and we had to give him baths. cute. Oh no, Alphonse does it too. If you carry her to the bathroom, like that's like the evil place, like don't take her to the bathroom. It kind of sounds like she goes, no. It's super funny. But it does kind of sound like the chipmunk voice, so I don't know. Could be a hoax.
What we have here is talking porcupine.
We should just get a pet porcupine and then we'll see if they really do sound like that. I'm down.
What we have now is a plan to get a porcupine. Anyways, that bit and that, area, that avenue of interest is dedicated to Spoony from the Remnants group, hoping you feel better, madam. Anyways, yes, I was going to also suggest that people comment as to whether they would like for me to continue growing the beard, but I don't think I can manage that.
You can
I don't want to
it.
do it. It sucks.
Okay, it stops sucking though after a few days, and it'll pop out and be softer, and you'll get over it.
No, it's super
cool,
aggravating.
man. I like beards.
And I'm like somebody's grandpa. Oh, also,
You're
my
not
shoes.
a grandpa.
My shoes are stupid as fuck. They're green. And
don't look like your grandpa.
my other shoes broke. So what I decided to do to complement the beard was to wear the most ridiculous possible ensemble of clothing that I could find, which is an orange shirt with a blue tie and green shoes.
Shirt. Yeah, you look like Dwight.
And
get some glasses.
And the beard. So yeah, I'm dressed like Grandpa.
Bears beats.
I'm Grandpa for pre-Halloween.
Battlestar Galactica. You do not look
Bears
like a grandpa.
BSG. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to respond to that video. We're going to respond to the anti-feminist woman video, which I wanted to explain. Yeah, I watched a lot of her videos. She's really good with that topic.
Oh, that's great.
But where she drags off into this one, I watched a little bit of this video. Casey watched the rest of it for me. And it's just... we'll get to the opinions on it.
I like her descriptions, everybody.
But,
oh, that's funny. So it just says in the description, how dare you, which is funny. That's like the Greta Thunberg thing.
yeah, I know. Right.
Which, first of all, she's passionate, okay? Let's just leave Greta alone.
Yeah, no, actually, I've already stated in the last video, I said her shit with the how dare you is fucking spot on, like,
then
seriously.
she cites links about the things that she's talking about, which is cool, and it just says links, and then the first one is article about Thunberg book, and then gives the link, uses and consequences of emotions in politics, and then gives the links. Kids freaking out about climate change, and then there's 3 links.
Yeah. So we have that, and we'll get to that in a minute. But something I would like to raise before we get into it is there's another person for whom this video is somewhat dedicated, and he is, I'm not sure what his deal is really, but he has his own YouTube channel. He's a little bigger than us. He's coming up on 600 subscribers now, I think, so congratulations for him. He also started a secondary channel that was just for his music, which I listened to one of his songs, this guy, Sir, if you're watching, and I commented that I would, it was a piano song, I commented that I would go ahead and add an extra track to it, a secondary track, to which he replied, well, there is a secondary track in the full song, listen to it, I listened to the full song, and what I was suggesting, though, is adding an entire secondary track, like make a whole other part of the song and add it to it, because ultimately, the song itself is really
It's like
just...
short?
Yeah, fairly, it's a couple minutes, but it's... It's unfinished insofar as you would consider a full song to be. It is a full piano track with a couple extra tracks playing on it. It's very good. It's very well done. I explained to him what what the emotional factors are, how it made me feel, what I think of the song ultimately. But I said that I would add an extra track to it, to which he responded saying that I was being rude by telling him he should add an extra track. I said, no, well, I'm not telling you what you should do, I'm telling you what I would do,
Well, what do you
having
mean, like
composed piano music before.
Like extend the song in
No,
its entirety, or lay down another track
I would
underneath?
lay down another track and add it to it.
Like just more complex.
More complexity,
in the song.
maybe add something.
Whatever, man. Maybe he's just a simple
Well,
dude.
here's the thing is that,
We're making fun of people's music.
No, right. Well, here's the thing: is that if somebody suggests that, then you might ask, well, how or what? You know, you might consider it and be like, well, maybe.
Or you might just be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, you're fucking rude. And be like, well, if you want feedback, if you don't want feedback, you shouldn't be sharing it. If you do want feedback, then you should be accepting of the feedback that you get and consider it.
Putting stuff out into the public, then you know.
But
that's no excuse. Like that thing we just saw a little while ago about the girls who are, you know, asking am I ugly on Google, and then people were playing the like go kill yourself.
Right.
Like that's extreme. That obviously isn't an excuse to go tell somebody to kill themselves or whatever. But just some criticism or some ideas or whatever. That seems pretty innocent.
But whatever the case, he responded by saying that I was being rude by telling him what I would do with it were I to be composing it.
Maybe you hurt his feelings.
As I just said, I've composed this piano music specifically before, so I mean I'm just giving you notice on what I would do in order to improve it eventually or to work on it. And what you might want to do there, especially working with somebody who has in fact gone about this before, is maybe fire back and forth with them, you know, get some feedback, talk about, perhaps even suggest maybe working together at some point, because that's how, in fact, how musical ensembles are created, is by people meeting each other and getting to work with each other on music, and that's how they become successful. It's very unlikely that one person on YouTube who has amassed less subscribers than we even have yet with that channel is going to be hugely successful with his music alone on his own. Yes, it does happen, and it most especially happens when somebody gets recognized because he has people backing him and helping promote him, which is what our intention is, by the way, as I had mentioned.
Well, maybe you just hurt his feelings.
Maybe I hurt his feelings.
I want to hear
but what this guy has is, on his original channel, if I can find it here, is, he has, a video about Greta that I want to show because it's. Is
he mad?
It's very, sort of, not at her though.
Greta's really pissing people off all over the place.
Yeah.
The radio show that my husband listens to here in Cleveland, I was listening to because I ran out of podcasts on Friday, I think it was. And I'm reluctant to listen to it because it's not my favorite, but it is kind of funny. So I put it on, and like right when I was pulling into the driveway coming home Friday, he started talking about how upset he is at Greta Thunberg and how stupid, and like got a bunch of phone calls from the audience. Like, dude, what is your problem? It was super funny. It was like, why are you mad? Like, oh, she's only 15. Like, and what does that have anything to do with anything? Like, well, I'm not gonna believe her. And I was like, then don't. What are you so pissed about? It was so funny. The people ranting about this. It's crazy. I think just because somebody's young doesn't mean that they don't have a place to put their thoughts and ideas and passions and interests. I mean, I don't see what the big deal is.
Right.
So she got to give a speech at some big, summit. Like, okay. And lots of people give speeches at summits.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't mean...
Who was the one who were you just talking about, though? Who was the one that was complaining on the radio?
I don't want to say the name of the show, should I?
Yeah.
I was listening to RMG, to Rover's Morning Glory.
Okay.
I think it was either Thursday or Friday. And I listened to the podcast, so I'm like a day or two behind. So it could have been older than that. I don't think it was from Friday, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I come across things that I agree with that dude on some stuff, and then other times he makes me so mad that I turn it off. Like, it really runs the gamut, which I think is kind of what you're going for, right? If you're doing some kind of huge show like that, and he's like, got all these other stations all over the country and this huge following and, big audience that obviously you want to piss people off and not, incrementally to keep people that's how you keep people engaged. So it makes sense, but was this guy?
Yeah, just to
Oh, he's cute. Oh, I like his mustache.
Yeah, people comment about his facial hair.
Yeah.
What I wanted to show you
Got a
specifically,
sweet mustache.
what I want to show everybody.
A lot of people have been really concerned because I haven't posted in a long time.
That is that kitchen right there. This is the same fucking kitchen.
He's eating cereal.
So,
And he has the same piercing that I do. That's funny.
Yeah, you have the same piercing as her. You have the same kitchen as her.
I eat lots
and
of
even the
cereal.
same little lamp as her. So
That's
I should
funny.
like to say that. Well, I mean, I think he's an atheist, so maybe he doesn't believe in synchronicity. But there it is.
That's funny. He's cute.
That just happened.
Hey,
so I mean, that's evidence.
A lot of guys look creepy with the mustache, and he doesn't. Where does he live? Do you know like anything about?
Why? You know, something that I noticed is that one of your first questions about everybody is where do
Because
they
I'm
live?
curious. I told you earlier you should get a map, and then like and things pop up, and
Now-
he gets very passionate about this stuff, and he comes over and he's like, I found this video of this chick, and she does all these cool videos, or this guy, and he makes all this cool stuff, and I want
I
to
don't
get an
care
idea
at all.
of the geological reach that you're having if you're so passionate
No,
about
but
this stuff. Like,
something
wouldn't
that
you
I
want to
wanna
know?
make
Like,
note
oh my God, some guy in
for people
California
that
or
have
Ireland
yeah,
or whatever.
that's actually
Like,
that's a cool idea.
duh, of course.
But what anybody who's been keeping along with the channel, especially people who watch the color coding course, should note, what was the questions that Reds will ask? Where was the number one?
Cry about it. I'm just curious.
Where was the number one question that Reds are likely to ask?
Because I'm gonna hunt him down.
So, here he says, let's talk about using children in politics. Now,
Which is pretty much
this
what
is-
Chick is gonna. Yeah, Chick
Yeah,
is talking about.
this is his which I'd like to echo his sentiment. This guy's going to give an opinion that is
Oh.
in agreement with ours for the most part. So let's keep his opinion as a side note throughout the course of the remainder of this video.
Criticism about our activists. Specifically, the one I want to talk about today is where people are saying that they don't think children should be used to prop up a political agenda. Okay. Okay.
Why not? Yeah.
Thank you for your input. That's not part of the conversation we're having. So saying that doesn't shut down the conversation. So we all acknowledge that you do not think that she should be used to prop up a political agenda. Okay. That does not shut down the conversation. It is at this time that the appropriate thing to do would be acknowledge the things that she's saying. We get it. You don't like that she's a kid, okay? That doesn't shut down the conversation. It doesn't. That's a fucking. It doesn't mean anything. Nobody cares if you don't like it.
Oh, that's great.
Really? Nobody gives a shit. Your fucking opinion about her age means so much less to the world than her opinion about anything. Everybody in the planet cares way more about what she thinks than what you think. Have a nice day.
That's beautiful. Oh my God.
So yeah,
He's my new favorite YouTuber.
That's for you, sir. He was the guy actually who was making
Yeah.
fun of Demi.
Oh my God, he's my favorite, and he's funny and cute. If I wasn't married,
And
I
he
tell
makes
you,
he
I
makes
might hunt
decent
this dude
music.
down.
It could use a few extra notes here and there, but it's pretty awesome.
And he's cute. I'm gonna hunt this guy down. That is hilarious. That's exactly what I was just saying earlier. Like, what? I don't. Okay, so that's a thing, and now we get over that and talk about the actual thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
oh my God, she's
So
only 15.
that's what we
I'm
should like to
yeah.
note is above and
And
beyond all of this. What we're
then
about to
what?
get into here is that yes, we would like to make note of what Greta Thunberg is actually saying and how it actually applies to the
Right.
actual happening reality of our
Like,
circumstances.
so a 17-year-old walks out on some kind of stage and is like, I think we should do stuff to help the environment before some really bad shit happens. And everyone's like, oh my God, can you believe she's 17? Okay, and then like a week later, a 55-year-old walks out on stage and is like, hey, you guys, we should really do something about the environment before something like shitty happens and like a bunch
shut
of
up,
fish
old
dies.
man.
And they're like, oh. you know, who is this guy? Like, you're always going to find something wrong with the
Yeah, no,
vessel that the idea is
especially,
coming out of. You know what I
you're
mean?
going to find
Like,
something
that
wrong
doesn't
with
matter.
it if it in some way threatens some established routine or inhabited circumstance that you created, such as as I mentioned, your addiction to money, your addiction to politics, your addiction to these systems
Yeah,
that
and
we
then
have in
start,
play,
like,
which are
digging
threatened
around.
by that.
Digging around in that person's, you know, past or you know, what they did last week and last year, and none of that, any of that shit matters. Like, if she's 17 or if she's 97, like, what she's saying is the part that matters, like, because she's saying it. Like,
Yeah,
I don't get it.
is.
Like, it's just a fucking vessel that the idea's coming out of,
Right.
and that's what you focus on. Like, I can't believe it.
As we were
I love
mentioning
that guy.
earlier, even if she is, like, being puppeteered by somebody, like people are suggesting, like Abbas ICL, Isel Mazard had said earlier in this series, wherein he said it's the Rothschild thing with the Rothschild vote. Who gives a fuck? Like,
if it does something good in the end, then does that really matter? And
A,
that's
who gives a fuck? B, if it does something good. But C, here's the thing. If you're going to talk about a child, she's a 17-year-old child, so she doesn't have enough life experience or this or that or blah, blah, blah because she's a kid. Well, you're suggesting that she's being manipulated by somebody else. Do you think they're a 17-year-old kid? Where do you?
And so on,
if you're proposing that these ideas are coming from some puppet master, how old do you think they are?
And does that matter? Would you feel better if they're 27 or if they're 37? Or if they're 47 or 57? Like, I don't see where the fuck does it end, man. It's so ridiculous.
It's just, to me, it's like an escapist mechanism where they want to get away from.
But it does say a lot about, like, the consequentialism thing that, like you said, like we said, if it does something good, then does it matter what it comes from? Like, that across the board, I don't think you can claim that the consequences of something excuse whatever action caused them.
Right.
If that's a good thing, then this
Actually,
is...
that was
so
something...
maybe not. That you can't say that across the board. It's like...
Yeah, that was something that I was
True.
speaking to actually via commentary with Jacqueline Glenn the other day about her video on Onision having
oh my God, people cannot stop talking about that guy.
right, and I called it a long time
Like,
ago.
find
I watched
something
Strange
else to talk
Aeon's
about.
video that she was reviewing a music video that this dude did, and I said to her, spot on, I said, that dude's a fucking creepy pedophile.
What?
And now, like, 2 years later, all of a sudden, whoa, he's been technically abducting young girls. Like, I mean, he brought this 16-year-old girl into his home.
From what I understand, I didn't watch anything except for when what's-his-face talked about it.
Yeah, I've seen reviews and shit on him. I can't watch
guy
him.
talked about it and basically laid it out as, like, he had a nanny, a live-in nanny.
Right,
that he,
yeah,
like,
that's
waited
it.
for her to become 18 so that he could fuck her and then kicked her out. And that's pretty much all I know. But
That's
literally,
one, but I guess there are other circumstances. It doesn't matter. It's not
you
what we're
could scroll
covering
through
here.
YouTube all day and watch hundreds of video about this guy. Like,
Yeah.
what is it? Who is he called?
Onision. I can't
That's
watch
like,
any of his
there's
stuff.
gotta
He is
be
so creepy. He
something
is
else to talk
so
about here.
fucking out there. Like, I don't know how people are even managing to pay attention to this guy for long enough to do a review on his video. I mean, he's fucking creepy. Anyways,
Alright, fine.
what Jacqueline Glenn was saying is that he had things had come from his actions that had brought about good consequences, and I asked, well, so does it excuse his presence? Like, does it justify his presence to have brought about these good consequences?
It depends on the
Technically, is
circumstance.
his actions justified in order to bring about the good consequences?
I would say it depends on the
Yeah,
circumstance.
I don't think it weighs out in his play,
Individual-
in his circumstance, but whatever.
You have to look at that as an individual thing. Well, now I've lost it.
No, I've lost it. So yeah, we're gonna get into the anti-feminist view, but there's some other things that we wanted to bring up on top of that.
Oh my God! I just closed it and then I opened it back up and there she is.
There's some other things we wanted to bring up We won't start her video yet. We'll wait until the next one. We'll give all the honorary dues in the description for this intro video. And that's just it, the introduction. And then we're going to kick over to Sweetie Cheek's phone. We're going to start this off big time. We have other things we want to get into, including that, that I don't know what to call it, this where teens are looking themselves up in the internet and
yeah, that just kind of popped up
and,
like 10 minutes ago when we were messing
yeah,
around.
but it
online.
applies to the psychological environment.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I mean, everything applies to the psychological environment. I think I would say, but I didn't know that that was.
Okay, so anyways, to cap it off, because it cut us right there, I don't know why, but this video, obviously, this is part 3A. The entirety of part 3 is going to be dedicated to Staggerson Jamz, if that's his name, I don't know. Who's the other one? Spoony from the Remnants crew, and director Madam Raven's Queen is her moniker. So, as for you guys, and we'll get right back to you in just a moment.